Boys Bible Study. It's us. It's your favorite boys with a little spooky twist on today, October 31st. It's Devil's Day, and we're bringing you a holy message despite the demonic atmosphere. I'm Ash. I'm here with
Scott
and Julian.
Oh, man. God, this one's a scorcher. Like, not only did we all, I think I can safely say, love this movie, it also introduced us to a whole new world of filmmaking, which I'm really excited to explore and introduce our listeners to. But first, I just want to say, you know, we were on the fence about even doing a Halloween episode because it's like, why bring more darkness into the work?
Right.
Yeah.
We weren't going to do it. We
almost did a World Series episode.
Yeah.
That would have been a disaster. But look forward to it next week.
Yeah, we'll still do that next week. But I mean, yeah, because I think, you know, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about Halloween? What's your take on Halloween in the year of our Lord 2021?
Are you looking at me because I've told you this take before?
Yeah, I want a hot take. Okay, I want a hot take about Halloween because I think people need to hear it.
Halloween, personally, not a fan anymore.
It's getting old.
I enjoy the party. I enjoy,
of course,
the costumes, but it's becoming, I described it to you as the millennial Christmas.
Yes.
Because of like the amount of boomers who are so obsessed with like celebrating Christmas almost year round. And they're way more into the aesthetic of Christmas. And, you know, if you don't really like the aesthetic of just seeing a fucking stupid, spooky, also really hate the word spooky.
Yeah.
If you don't like seeing little skeletons and cartoon bats everywhere all the time, it's really pretty miserable. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I think I feel the same way. Like, here's the thing. I mean, I love horror. I love the occult. I love all the ingredients. Like, it's my life. I mean, I love all this stuff. But yeah, I think our generation, I think that, yeah, as you just said, Halloween is like Christmas for millennials. And I think it's true. I think it's become sort of a religious holiday.
Yeah.
For our generation, it's become like very mandatory. Observance of it is like very mandatory, or else you're like not fun, you know? And I just feel anytime basically someone tries to like tell me how to have fun, I just immediately want to do the opposite. Like, that's just sort of how I'm wired.
Yeah.
So
the forced fun aspect is just like, we need to be normal for most of the time to make Halloween feel special.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Less is more. If you just concentrate it to 1 week. Also, shit like, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting, maybe I'm being, you know, pussified. What's the word?
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
But when I see shit like, I saw like a car in the parking lot of a grocery store, and it had like bloody leg stumps sticking out of the trunk and like fake blood smears on the back.
It was fake blood.
And it wasn't real. And like I was walking through Griffith Park a couple years ago around Halloween. I just went around a bend and there was just a pile of plastic body parts. That was actually pretty funny. But I was still like,
that's Holly weird for you.
Yeah, I'm still like, this is like too much right now. Mm-hmm. Like when it's like Saw level special effects that are just like in like your suburban windowsills.
Yeah,
it's like decapitated heads and like the lifelike recreation of the girl's head from Hereditary. Like, I don't want to see that when I'm walking around.
Yes.
Like, isn't the world horrible enough?
I completely agree.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, what I like about Halloween is that as a movie theater man, it probably creates the strongest month for pushing people to go to the movies.
You're such a capitalist.
Yeah. I just like experiencing cinema that way, Julian.
Fair enough.
But and there's like a lot of horror movies that play and fun stuff in October. Whereas Christmas, which I also equally love for movie reasons. It's more of a stay-at-home, watch made-for-TV movies setup.
They're both very good movie months, I will say.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I love horror movies. I mean, like, maybe possibly my favorite genre of film, even though I'm not, your fucking rockabilly, pumpkin tattoos ass motherfucker. But yeah, love it. It's amazing. Yeah, seeing horror films in the theater in October. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like I don't like it when there's like things where everybody is just like, yeah, we all like cartoon bats now.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't you like cartoon bats?
No, I don't.
Not really.
Now I don't.
I don't even
Yeah.
like Batman.
No, hell no.
Fuck
No.
that guy.
Yeah. Well, apart from just the oh, weird. I just got a sound. Sorry, I'm getting a lag.
But
I think
watching
it's
that
better
next
now.
to Jodorowsky's dude.
That doc. Whoa, your voice just got pitch shifted. Really? What does it mean? Dude, this is crazy. This has never happened before. Yeah. All of our voices are like really slow and pitch shifted. Whoa, that's probably what they used for Halloween Hero. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey. Dude, we didn't plan this. This is fucking crazy.
Hey, homie, I'm just trying to rob your garage, dog.
Keep it real, man. Okay, I'm pausing this.
No.
We're back. That was weird. We got kind of haunted there for a moment. It literally may have been because we were talking shit on the concept of Halloween, but no matter.
That's on me. I'll take credit for that.
But yeah, also Halloween, as we know, is a tool of the dark arts and the occult to bring more people, especially younger people, into the folds. We know that the dark arts will stop at nothing but to recruit more innocents, despite the fact that we were like completely on the fence of even covering Halloween, even acknowledging Halloween this year, because grow up, demons. But we decided, hey, this is coming out on October 31st, and we have an opportunity here to use Halloween to spread a positive message that's from God. Enter a film that we just recently became aware of, and we were like so fucking excited to click on and watch for ourselves. This is a film called Halloween Hero. It is a 2020 film, very contemporary. And it is by a director that we say, this is one to watch. Like, this is a new voice in the cinematic landscape that I think we can expect to see a lot of her soon. And that is Ashley Hays Wright. I think before we even get into Halloween Hero, like we really need to talk about Ashley. Like, what is the deal with her and her family and her other work? Like, what do we know about her so far?
And Julian, how did God present you with this movie?
What did we watch? We watched the trailer for something else.
Halloween Heroes?
No. We watched it was for the baseball movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or no, the talking dog movie.
That's what led to Halloween Hero?
Yeah, because then I was like, we've seen Bridgestone. Yeah, because it's the talking dog movie said it was Bridgestone Media Group. And then I was like, oh, we've seen something else by then. And you were like, yeah, a lot of movies. So I went to their website, and Halloween Hero was just like on their list of movies they put out in the poster. Like, so insane. And given the time of the year, we looked it up. So shout out to Bridgestone Media Group for putting this out there, putting it on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm so glad they did. And, gentle listener, on our Instagram, we always post stills from the film. And I'm going to try to remember to include the poster in there as well, because it's a delight to the senses. So, but do check it out. It looks like a still from the Dragula music video, if you like turned up the saturation and the sharpness all the way. It's really interesting. It's the who we would find out is the lead actor in the film, David Owen Wright, wearing a camo hat and a short sleeve shirt and holding a gun. in front of a rocky wall. That kind of reminds me of the Creed album Weathered, where it's like the faces like in the trees. It's kind of what the is. You can like weirdly see a human face in it, even though that's not the point. That's not what they were trying to do. And it says, "This Halloween will change everything."
It kind of did, because now we know about this family and
this amazing family.
Amazing family.
May I read from Ashley Hays Wright's IMDb profile?
Please.
Ashley Hays Wright is a homeschool mother of 3 daughters. She is married to David Owen Wright, an actor, producer, and CEO of Wright Music Group. She is a multi-talented craftsman with many gifts from God, an actress, director, writer, producer, editor, photographer, artist, singer, and musician. She started her own film company, Wright Family Films, out of a lack of safe content for her weekly family movie nights. Her priority is God, and second is her family. She does not watch TV and only allows 1 movie a week. All her inspirations come from what God puts into her heart, her walks in the woods, and the time spent with her family. She lives apart from the world as much as possible, using filmmaking as her tool to spread the gospel to the people. She strives to keep her faith values strong in each of her films. In everything she does it all for the glory of the Lord.
I think that's extremely true. Like, I don't really think anything she said there was a boast. Like, it was very clear that all of that was true just from watching this film. One, that she's only watched at most 1 movie a week for most of her life, because, I mean, this movie was like nothing else. Like,
yeah, it was pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. I mean, what influenced it?
Do
you think anything influenced it?
I would love to see like a year's worth of programming from that household. What are the 52 movies they watched in 2019 leading up to this?
Yeah, I was trying to see like if there's any interviews or anything with her. Nothing.
No,
her
not
IMDb
much.
profile does not have any like lists.
She got a
of anything. I doubt
she doesn't have an account. Someone on Letterboxd did make a list of her films, or I don't know if those are auto-generated, but. So there is a list of Ashley Hays Wright films on Letterboxd. There's like 6 of them. I didn't see which user made that.
And she is prolific. She has probably like 20 films and short films listed on Amazon. I mean, on her website, she has some of the select films on. Oh my God, there's so many movies on WrightFamilyFilms.com. Most of these are not available to watch easily, but a couple of them are on Amazon Prime. The Exorcism in Amarillo.
That one looks good. I want to watch that one next.
The Rapture Diaries, Alien Whispers, Halloween Hero, Rhapsody in Blue, White Fangs, Monster Bee in DC, The Christmas Doodle, which I think is about their family dog they just got. All these movies just came out in like the past 2 years also.
Wow, that's so prolific.
Esther, The Badge, the Bible, and Bigfoot. Just Lean, A Drive in the Snow, Alone at Christmas, their Christian sitcom, The Bible Matters.
They have a sitcom?
Yeah, I mean, according to their website, they have a sitcom. And then they also have a couple of projects that are done by the daughters, who are all between the ages of like 12 and 9.
Did you mention Fighting Chupacabra and Cartel in Mexico?
That was not featured on her website.
Well, yeah, like, first of all, I will say they make a lot of artistic claims, and I have no reason to doubt them. But like, another aspect of the family, like, art creation machine is that Ashley's husband, David Owen Wright, so he's a musician, and he's the CEO of a music company called Wright Music Group. That's Wright with a W. And, you know, I just want to know what music they put out. They claim that they've been releasing music since 1999, or working somehow in like music rights since 1999, and they represent artists. In 2020, they made a song contest. Like, David Owen Wright did this weird commercial that we watched, which maybe I'll put a clip in, but it's like it's like him talking over pictures of like skyscrapers, and he's like, somewhere out there is a songwriter who can write the best song in the world.
The Wright Music Group Song Contest 2020 is here. Who will have that top song that starts the year? Who will be the top artist or songwriter in the world? I know he or she is out there. The one called to share their voice and their music and their writing ability with the world. The one that's been waiting years for a breakthrough.
So the premise of the commercial was like the Wright Music Group, are going to find a songwriter and basically like help them break through in the industry. And it's like, with what? Like, what do you do? Like, I want to know. Just show. Like,
Right.
I want to see. I want to hear the music, but there's nothing. And so, like, what have they been doing since 1999? They claim they have an office in New York City. That's like what the address of Wright Music Group is. But it's like, we followed the address. Like Scott, your wife pointed out, but like, it's like 101 Main Street, New York City. It's like if you had to, if a kid came up with a fake address, like if you lived, and it's like smack dab in the middle of Roosevelt Island. It was just like, it just seems unlikely. Like, we literally looked at it on Street View because we're fucking freaks.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like in the middle, like it's just like in the middle of a street. There's like apartment buildings all around, but there's like, no, it's not there.
It was like
it's
That's
not.
awesome.
Yeah, it was like Google Street View was like a government building, like a really old government building, and then like a housing project.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there is the Wright Family Music Group's New York office.
Right. Like, again, why? Why do you have to lie? Just do your thing.
Yeah. I also like claiming to give a platform for music is like pretty bold. If you, I don't know, like if they said like, oh, we can like release your movie in some capacity, I would find that much more believable.
Yeah, because they've made movies, because they put movies out there.
Yeah. We just watched this on Amazon Prime.
Right. And it was great. And I want to see more, but like, what is with their musical ambitions? Like, I would like to see anything they do. I know they have it in them. They're obviously a very creative bunch of people. But anyway, that's a little sidetrack on the Wright Music Group. But I just, barely anything on their website. On their website, they say they are temporarily closed in the year 2020 because they're temporarily closed in 2021 because in 2022 they are going to start a new a brand and partnership.
Oh,
so look big. Watch this space.
Bridgestone
fam.
Media Group.
Maybe watch this space, fam. Big things coming.
Yeah, they're like have that like manic creative energy.
Yeah,
where they are like, we want to be an empire, just right off the bat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With their like ad for the music competition that showed like Dubai and like
stock footage of like literally Dubai and like a man smiling out of nowhere. Yeah, that's the thing. Make the work first. Again, I know they have it in them. They've made how many movies in 2 years? That's like
a lot.
Remarkable. Like even if the movies are obviously done kind of quickly, that's remarkable. Most people will never have a 100th of that level of creativity. So it's amazing. So, part of the reason that Halloween Hero was so remarkable was because this is clearly a family that is very insulated in some capacity. Like, I don't doubt that they have like friends and like people they know outside. I'm not saying that they're like shut-ins, but everyone basically in the movie had a last name that indicated that they were family members. And facts such as the movie was written by their 11-year-old daughter.
Which it says in the credits. It
Yes.
points out in the credits that she is 11.
Yes. Cadence Wright, age 11, I believe. Or is it Cadence Hays? I'm blanking. There were some people named Hays and some people named Wright in the film.
Hold on, I have it right here. Yeah, Cadence Wright.
Okay. Yeah, so, little things like that lead me to believe that, they really did this like as a family project. maybe as part of their homeschooling. So Ashley labels herself a homeschool mom. And, you know, that whole like homeschooling, as we know from watching the Quiverful documentary, the whole homeschool atmosphere is like the family is the team. They are doing everything together. And that was the vibe I got from this movie.
And you know what? That's awesome. If I could have had that upbringing instead of going to school. Like your family, like your mom's just like, we're making another movie.
Yeah. We're making a movie about the Chupacabra today, kids.
Yeah.
Get the camera, get the fucking old lady mask on, Cadence.
Yeah.
Cadence, you open Microsoft Word and you start typing a new script now because we need to churn these things out because we're taking the industry by storm. Like that fucks. I love that.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah. This family rocks. I love their work. Anything else to say on them before we get into the content of the film?
I'm just trying to think if there's like anything remotely by comparison, like any other families that we have come by in our film watching so far for this podcast.
I really don't think so. We've never have we ever watched a movie in our lives or ever? Ooh, I can think of one other example, but how many movies that are written by an 11-year-old? Like a feature-length film that's written by an 11-year-old. I mean, the answer that immediately comes to mind is one that you just showed at a screening the other week, Scott, which is, of course, Blood Brothers.
Yeah. I don't think there was a script for that one, though.
Well, sure. Yeah. It was just kind of made in the moment. But so I like to see that this movie was written by an 11-year-old. I love that spirit.
Well, Red Big Fire Truck was written by a 50-year-old with the mental capacity of an 11-year-old.
Yeah, that movie was awesome.
Yeah, age ain't nothing but a number. You know?
That's gonna, assuming we're doing our awards at the end of the year here coming up.
Oh yeah,
that one's gonna be real high up on the list for me in every category.
Oh yeah, the second annual Boys Bible Study Awards will be happening in January 2022. Watch this space. Well, yeah, Halloween Hero. Okay, so this is a Halloween film. The story was written by an 11-year-old. I'll just say that. I just can't stop emphasizing that because it's crucial to understanding this film. Where does it start? How does this film open?
Starts with David Owen Wright.
I just remembered how it starts. Go on.
Polishing off a bottle of Manischewitz.
Why?
And putting marking his death day down on the calendar, October 31st. Literally writing death with 2 big exclamation points on October 31st on his calendar. And then putting a loaded gun to his like ankle to kill himself.
That is so hard.
Finding all the pointing a gun at all the least likely places to kill you immediately.
There were so many different shots of him pointing the gun at himself, and every single one from like, you will just maim yourself and bleed out. It will be very painful and slow.
Yeah, and I agree. One of the most profound...
Googling worst ways to kill yourself.
I agree. One of the most profound things I've literally ever seen in a film was a man opening a calendar and on a certain day, the whole calendar is blank except on a certain day it just says death ! And you come to realize that is the day he is in fact planning to kill himself, which is Halloween 2020. Like that, It doesn't get harder than that. Like any horrorcore rapper, any ICP, or it's like any derivatives of it have not come up with a scenario that goes that hard. Like it's really incredible.
So funny.
Yeah. So we see a man on the brink. Yeah. He's chugging Manischewitz for some reason. That's like his like poison of choice. He also drinks Svedka vodka, apparently. Schnapps.
Yeah.
This man has like by far the worst taste in alcohol like there's ever been.
Yeah. Before we get too far into it, the Manischewitz is peculiar because number one, it's Manischewitz.
Right.
So why would you drink that?
Right.
If you're trying to get drunk? I mean, you will get drunk, but you'll also feel really, really sick before it feels like a good drunk.
Right.
Well, based on how he's pointing the gun at himself, maybe that's what he's going for.
Yeah. He's trying to die from food poisoning. And then he also eats Hebrew National hot dogs. Not, that peculiar on its own, but coupled with the Manischewitz. And then also later on in the house, we see a sign that says Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome God, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, is the full text of the homemade sign.
And
that's
a
hanging in the
jar of
house.
gefilte fish.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out what's going on with the Hays.
Oh, they
Wright
were
family.
actually Hebrew national pigs in a blanket. Now that I remember, microwavable ones.
Honestly, I feel like, well, the Shabbat Shalom thing is uncanny, but I almost feel like, for me personally, the gefilte fish is the most telling thing. Because,
absolutely.
I don't know. I learned the word shalom in Sunday school, but my family never in our lives came within 10 feet of a jar of gefilte fish. I still don't fully understand what it is, to be perfectly honest.
Dude,
with
I
you.
love gefilte fish.
Is it good?
Depends on who you ask.
Okay,
Some
sure.
people find it to be one of the most putrid things
Sure,
We're asking
you
you.
could ever. I love it. Try it as soon as possible.
I would love to. I recently got into lox, so
It's not like lox.
How does it compare to Swedish fish?
Very differently.
okay,
Yeah.
Both Halloween things, though, apparently.
Yeah.
right. So,
yeah,
yeah.
we have some theories.
well,
or-
yeah, like it's just so weird. We think that either possibly a family member, maybe Ashley herself, like is Jewish.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering maybe she's Jewish and married a super Christian person.
Because
and,
don't they have a film about that?
I couldn't find any sort of actual evidence about that, but I did search her name and Jewish, and in one of the Google results, it was like a Facebook page for one of those like groups that just like post random movies.
Sure.
It was called like Pixel Films or something.
Sure.
But the actual page was like completely blank. But in the Google search result, it said something about like director Ashley Hays Wright, description: a Jewish woman falls in love with a gangster. And yeah, so I don't know if that was like her playing the Jewish woman or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of my guess, is that maybe like there was some compromise, like, oh, we'll still celebrate Shabbat.
Sure.
Or we also said it's, could be one of those like extremely Christian families that is like Jewish weebs.
Yeah, they might be weebs for Judaism. There is a precedent for that. And it's like, I don't know, that was something that we were sort of reflecting on during the film. I mean, I get it. Like, first of all, I mean, Judaism is like what literally led into Christianity. Scott, do you have some new evidence?
Yeah.
You seem excited
Breaking
to share
news.
something.
Oh boy.
I'm just reading about an evangelical Christian movement called the Living Church of God, and they also celebrate Jewish holidays.
Oh,
Okay.
See, no, this honestly makes sense. Like, I'm actually surprised in a way there isn't more of this, because, I mean, think about it. Like the Torah and like, all these Jewish laws and things like that, that is like directly what led into Christianity. Like you have to, respect it if you're like a diehard Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the old gods in Lovecraft.
Yeah. Yes.
They're
Yeah,
paying tribute. They're trying to keep Yahweh asleep for 2,000 more years.
Yeah.
One of the Living Church ministers said that they're obeying God's commandments, and the holy days have great meaning for the Christians who keep them.
That makes sense to me. It really does. And we also talked about, on a slightly more like sinister note, I guess you could say, but there's also a precedent for evangelical support of the state of Israel, be specifically related to end times prophecy, which is like a very interesting spin on it. But longtime listeners of our show might remember early on we talked about the movie The Trump Prophecy, which, apart from being about the election of Donald Trump, also ends with a half hour of talking heads, including Michelle Bachmann, if you remember her, just looking at the camera and talking about how we need to unequivocally support the state of Israel so that the prophecies of the Bible can be fulfilled, and then ostensibly the world will end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind.
And that, of course, is their main reasoning for wanting Trump in office.
Yes.
Which probably a lot of you remember from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Send all the Jews to Israel, because we love them so much, and we want them to blow up immediately as soon as they go back there, and then Jesus to walk out of the ashes.
Watch this space. Just keep saying, watch this space. Big things coming. So it is entirely possible that the Hays Wright family are Christian weebs for Judaism, as I like to say. But that's interesting, just as like a little visual motif in this film. But also,
we may get an answer.
What's that?
I feel I'm putting these positive energy out there that I feel like this family is probably so self-obsessed that they probably have a Google alert set up for their movies, and I think that this will probably get the most buzz for one of their projects.
I hope so.
Than anything they've ever done. So
I hope
if you're listening to us right now, Ashley and David, and your beautiful children, let us. What's the deal with all the Jewish stuff?
Yeah, what's the deal? I want to know, like, genuinely. I would also love to talk to you guys, like, get in touch.
Absolutely. Pick out a movie for us to watch. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that's a fun idea. I should ask them. But yeah. So also in the beginning of this film, as we're getting these like very potent like visual symbols established for us, one of the most like upsetting scenes in like a movie that we've watched. That's hard to say. This is very upsetting.
Yeah, it was
weird.
Maybe the most like blatantly racist thing we have seen.
Maybe. Yeah. Not only that, but also just like visually, it was just on a very low budget. It was like deeply like disturbing. It did the whole like Lynchian thing where it used like very everyday objects and symbols and like presented them in this way that was like very upsetting. Like a man like covered in mud in like Mulholland Drive or whatever, it's like that. Why is that such a nightmare? In this film, it's like someone wearing a mask and a hoodie like in a garage, and it is like one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it did have some accidental Lynchian things going on.
Yes. Yeah. I know it's easy to call anything weird Lynchian, but I really think in his specific type of like dream-like elevating the mundane into the like the spiritual, I think that Halloween Hero did that.
Yeah, I just ran Lost Highway the other night.
Yeah. This definitely had some Lost Highway vibes in a way.
I'm in your garage right now.
Hey, man, I'm in your garage right now. So, okay, I'm just going to cut to the chase and say that this movie begins with the main character, who is David Owen Wright, playing a man's named Michael. He's playing a man named Michael. He's, for some reason, a man wearing a mask comes into the garage, and I'm just gonna say it, like the mask is like a black man, and it's, at first I was like, is this character supposed to be in disguise doing a hold up in a mask, or is this character supposed to represent a black person? We would come to find out that the answer would be the second one, because later on in the movie, masks are used to portray characters whom do not fit that physical description. Like there's an old lady mask who is an actor playing an old lady.
Yeah.
Therefore, that leads me to believe in the logic of this movie that this person was actually trying to portray a black man who was robbing him or trying to kill him for no real apparent reason.
And because of the voice that they're doing too.
Yes. We suspect that David was doing the voice, and it was dubbed over, and notably his dialogue was like 10 decibels softer than Michael's dialogue, which is just for no reason, but it was very confusing.
Yeah, that's the kind of audio quality you'll get from the Wright family music group.
Which, by the way, David does specify in the credits that he did the sound engineering for this movie, which is like, to specifically say he was engineering this film is like, I'm sorry, like move all the dialogue like within a couple decibels of each other. I'm not even asking for perfection here.
Don't advertise that you were the audio engineer.
Just say you were in the
offer
movie.
your services when you reach out to him, Ash.
I mean, I would love to edit one of these films. God, I bet that would be a nightmare gig.
I'll show your kids how to do this too.
Well, they should be showing me what to do. I want to take writing lessons from Cadence, age 11.
Seriously,
like, I want her to write. Maybe we should hire her to write the Boys Bible Study film.
Wow,
in the future, that's an interesting idea. One of the 20 we do. But yeah,
I think after just watching this season, we need to educate their children on a little thing called critical race theory. Because these kids are on a dark path.
Yeah, but no, it's true. And again, to finish that thought, like the dialogue that this robber character was being spoken in like a really shoddy equivalent of like African American vernacular English, and it was like, I'm gonna put a sound clip in, but it's literally him being like, I keep it real, man. Like for no reason.
Yeah.
Like why would the character say that other than it was like something he knows that black people say?
Right.
From listening to, I don't know, from like watching a movie one time or something.
One of the movies that was deemed not family friendly.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want to shoot me? If you want to shoot me, just shoot me. Pull the trigger. Forget you, man. Forget you. Who do you think you are? I have the gun. Forget you, man. Yeah. Wherever you want, just take it and get out. The gun. You want to kill me? You're going to do what I say, partner. Shoot me then. I keep it real, and I will. You want to kill me? Shoot me then. Big man. Turn around.
Yeah, and why does this character even come in? Okay, so the character comes in and all David is going, he's like, shoot me, fucking kill. Well, he doesn't say the F word, of course, but he's like, shoot me, kill me, come on, shoot me in the head. And the guy's like, get down on your knees, man, I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, no, kill me now. Like David, like the whole first part of the movie for minutes is David going, please kill me. I want you to kill me.
He takes the gun away and then points it at the guy and he goes, you need to kill me. And then puts it back in his hands.
And then points it up at his head or probably like his neck or something that's like not quite where
you need to shoot me in the stomach right now.
I didn't even really, as it was happening, I was laughing, but I didn't even really process it now that, he does like a karate move to steal the gun from the man so that he can point it at the guy and say, no, you need to kill me right now. And then he hands the gun back to him.
Oh, man. If I was the guy, I would be so freaked out. I would run away too.
Yeah. Maybe he did the right thing. Yeah. It ends with this guy running away, right?
Yes.
This robber, and we don't hear from him again. End scene.
Yeah.
Great. So, and we
clearly
realize,
there in service of showing just how much he wants to die.
Yes. Yeah. And also that he's a really tough guy who can handle himself.
Yes.
And
also that they have never met an actual person of color in their life.
God, no.
Or probably in generations.
No. Nightmare family. But, the story then begins to truly unfold. So the scene is set. It's Halloween nights or whatever night trick-or-treating happens in this particular neighborhood. We see some kids trick-or-treating, one wearing an alien mask, the other wearing a sort of Michael Myers looking mask.
Trash Humpers mask.
A what? A Trash Humpers mask.
Trash Humpers was a recurring motif in this.
Yes. If I actually had to pick, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot. If I actually had to pick a film to say this was most similar to one that I'd seen already, I would say Trash Humpers. I would say we finally got a Christian version of Trash Humpers, which is like
absolutely
never thought I'd see the day. Like unbelievable. People in like old person masks, like doing fake voices and like stomping around in the woods, like outside of like suburbia is like really remarkable.
The lights like blown out half the time.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's Halloween night. Two kids in masks approach a door where a young woman not wearing a mask answers. the kids invite her to go trick-or-treating. The dialogue is amazing. Again, this is written by an 11-year-old. I'll just have to put a clip in.
We're going to rate all the candy in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
So-
maybe even in the other neighborhoods.
Okay, bye. I'll probably come out later and stop at a few houses nearby. But, bye.
All right, we're out here.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
But what I love is that the girl concludes, she's like invited out, and the girl's like, no, I have to cook for my grandma. But then she says, but I think I'll go to a couple houses. Like, she's like, I might come out later, and I'll go to a couple houses. But then she goes trick-or-treating alone. Like, the conclusion that she got from the conversation, as far as I can tell, was like, yeah, it wasn't really a social thing for her. It was just like, well, you know, I'll get a couple candy bars tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because the one kids were like, oh, we're going to get all the candy bars in the neighborhood. And she was like, well, I'll go to a couple places.
Yeah.
So she does.
Get some nice candy bars to throw in her grandma's stew. What were they eating later? It was like,
Oh, they were eating.
I mean, it's not, you shouldn't make fun of people without money for what they have to eat. But
However,
it was really funny that they had like a Hawaiian roll and like
and an apple.
and an apple.
Yes, that was what she cooked for grandma. She opened a bag of King's Hawaiian and broke off a piece for each of them. And then,
Which, if you're trying to buy bread, I think you could do a little more thrifty than King Hawaiian rolls.
totally. Yeah, totally.
Maybe they're on sale.
Yeah, that's true. Manager special.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think, I mean, like,
5-finger discount.
well, but yeah, she's cooking for grandma. She's cooking up apples for grandma, but she does make it out to a couple houses. It just so happens that one of these houses is, of course, Michael's house. Thus, our characters are fated to meet. Michael, in true Michael fashion, has the gun pointed like behind his knee or something like that. Right when this little girl, whose name we will find out is Rachel, rings the doorbell. Michael's holding a picture of his late wife, who is also named Rachel. We will find out. He's holding a picture of his wife, and he's holding a gun to his chest. And the doorbell rings. And he's like, "What? What is this?" And then he goes to the door, and Rachel says, "Trick or treat." This follows, normally I don't like to, just straight summarize, but I will say this follows maybe one of the best sequences in the film, which is just the dialogue exchange of the setting, the characters.
Which we should just pipe in the whole dialogue.
Yes, absolutely.
But he says, "Where's your costume?" And she says, "I couldn't afford it. We're too poor." And then he says, "Where's your bag?" And she says, "I couldn't afford that either." He says, "Where's your parents?" She says, "They're dead."
Where's your costume?
We couldn't afford it. We're too poor.
Where's your bag?
Couldn't afford that either.
Who's your parents?
They're dead.
Girl, what do you have?
Yeah.
Come on, think positive.
She didn't even have a jacket on.
Right.
And so he gives her his late wife's jacket.
Right. Now, this sets up a kind of interesting dynamic, which fortunately I will say was very innocent in this film. I thought that the Michael character and the way that he interacted with Rachel and her grandma was very appropriate and innocent, which was great. Better than, I don't know, some of our films. I'm trying to think of a good example, but like a film where an adult is trying to be kind to a child or to somebody else, it just ends up being like fucking really weird, like See Me Dance, or maybe
Jonathan Sperry.
Jonathan Sperry. That's the perfect example.
Yeah, or plenty of secular movies too for that.
that absolutely.
This was definitely more. Yeah, this no creeper vibes from this one.
No, not at all.
Whereas a lot of times it feels a lot more like what's that movie with Natalie Portman and the French guy?
Oh yeah, crap.
The Professional.
The Professional.
Leon. Yeah.
Leon the Professional.
Right. But no, this film, very innocent in that regard. However, I will say I got a little nervous when he was like, "Oh, wow, your name's Rachel? That was also my wife's name. Let me give you one of her old jackets." I was like, please just like like I didn't want like it seemed like it was getting close to there was going to be some like impression of like the love of his wife onto this like child. Like, fortunately they really just didn't go there, and it was just like but what's so funny is that as soon as this like child comes to his door, he's like he gives her some money and a jacket, and she walks away, and they sits back down. He's like, well, Lord, you gave me a purpose in life. Like he knows like right away that like this is going to be my kid basically.
Yeah.
So,
Fast friends.
And then is it right after this that she's attacked?
Yes, she is attacked by another person.
Another trash humper on the loose.
Yes. Leaving Michael's apartment. Now, why are there so many people loose with guns in this like tiny town? Like this movie would lead me to believe that 50% of the people you encounter are open carry.
Yeah.
And mean. Not just open, not like literally holding a gun like pointed towards you when you leave the house. They're just ready to rob and kill you.
Well, 50% are open carry bad guys, and the other 50 are open carry good guys.
That's how it balances out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get it up to 50% because right now it's like, because of Congress.
Right.
We can't, the good guy. It's not as easy for good guys to get guns.
Right. Well, you know what the opposite of progress is? It's Congress.
I would say that given the fact that this is a family that is entirely homeschooled, living in the middle of nowhere in Maine, someone tells me that they probably do think that every time you leave your house, there is a armed and dangerous trash humper ready to blow your head off for Halloween candy.
Are we sure they live in Maine, or is it potentially rural Pennsylvania?
That's a good question.
I'm just pushing that because that's what I want it to be.
Right. Well, I will say, though, that
could there be that much of a difference between rural Pennsylvania and rural Maine?
Only in the Pennsylvania low-budget universe in my head of filmmakers.
Well, I will say that the Wright Music Group website claims that they have locations in New York, Pennsylvania, and Maine. So it's funny because they do actually invoke Pennsylvania, but that list almost made me think Maine because that's like furthest away. Like New York and Pennsylvania are right adjoining each other. Like maybe they wanted to say like Philly and New York, they have places, but like Maine is like where they actually have. Like I don't really understand why they would say Maine unless they didn't have roots there. Right. You know what I mean? So I wonder what they think about Bernie Sanders.
Well, I say Maine because the web series that Ashley directed called Homeschool Adventures, which is like I guess following her kids along a tour of places, historically significant places in the country, and they educate other kids about them, or they're supposed to be. That's the purpose of the videos. The first episode is all about Maine. So it's a leap of logic, but I feel like if you were doing it,
that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, your own backyard.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But I think like definitely to diagnose this family, they seem very insulated and they seem very mistrustful of the world outside, not just like literally outside of their own backyard. Like the geographical confines of their backyard, like within 100 feet of where they are at any time. I mean, that's probably not literally true, but that is what is conveyed through their films, where not even in the mean streets of New York City or Los Angeles or some like, liberal urban center that's in their hypothetical minds, like literally just down the road from where you live, there is a man in a hood with a gun.
Yeah.
Who will, rob your fucking plastic bag full of Kit Kat bars.
Plus there's just lots of things that make you feel this way watching this movie, where like the main character and his deceased wife are both police officers.
Yes.
He wears his outfits are always some sort of tribute to a branch of the military.
Yep.
So many so that he couldn't possibly be in the military.
Right.
Because he like reps every branch of the military.
It's a good
Right.
point.
And, he's just got those like aggressive tattoos that feel like a guy who probably wanted to be in, I don't know, who was probably neither in the military nor the police, but just like wants to kill somebody someday. Really just gets a gun for his own self-defense, but just get it like power of positive thinking. Maybe somebody will break into my garage one day and I can actually kill them.
Yeah. So two holdups in one day that he's dealing with.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second one, he starts wailing on this trash humper.
Yeah.
In such a funny way because they did like a weird like motion tracking pan and scan for when he's like clobbering this person's head in, which is clearly he's just holding the mask in his own hand and like punching it with the other hand just out of frame. But it does this. It's done so shittily that the movie becomes like a like 0.5 by like 4 aspect ratio at times.
Yes. I noticed that the top of the screen, the black bar was lower. It was asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Vertically, which I've never seen before, which I loved. Why don't more films do that? It was like, it was amazing. I've just, in some of the shots, it was just the widescreen bar on the top was
heavy
was
stabilization.
It
looked kind of great though. It really was. I've never seen anything quite like that fight choreography wise and editing.
Same.
Yeah, and then what is he pulls a gun on them and like shoots.
Yeah.
But then it turns out it was a warning shot.
Yeah. It was just so funny though. Like it just that moment of like suspense where you literally think he found a random guy, who attacked a girl. And then he stops the attack, beats the shit out of him, so he's on the ground like
into submission.
Into submission, and then pulls out a gun and shoots him. And it's just like before you realize, it's like, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah, you already won.
Yeah,
you can't just shoot him in the head.
Right,
too.
Right. It was pretty amazing. But then he was like, I had mercy on you today. And his like weird, like sexy, like gruff, like intimidating voice, which he reserves 1 for praying, 2 for threatening people's lives, 3 for visiting his wife's grave. All of those brought out the same sort of husky, like I want to say like erotic tone from him. A very libidinal movie. Scott, your wife pointed out, like there's many shots of like just like his open like crotch, like holding a gun. Like it was just like, it's just,
yes.
I know
more female directors.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The female support women in
who
film
are in love with the stars of their movie.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. The female gaze. It's the newest thing in Christian cinema. I'm telling you, Christian cinema, we need to see more female directors. Like we have Sam Sorbo, we have now Ashley Hays Wright. Any other? Barbara Sundstrom, of course. We have Barbara Sundstrom, excellent female Christian
director of The Good Book.
Blanking on her name, but that's a great female directed venture. Like I say this in all seriousness, like the Christian genre could use more diverse perspectives, and I really like to see women in these top production roles on these things. It literally makes the perspective so much more interesting. I think that was part of the reason why this film rocked.
The Good Book was directed by Sharon Wilharm, by the way.
Sharon Wilharm, yes, I remember now. Moving on, like I don't even remember the order. I don't think it matters too much, but the funniest fucking part of this whole film was when we finally see young Rachel interacting with her grandma, who I'm delighted to announce becomes a supporting character of the film, the grandma, and she has many lines of dialogue. How did they do that? How was the grandma in this film?
Well, they kind of show her at first, like in the background, like out of focus. So you're like, is that is that an old lady?
Yeah.
And then it becomes clear within a couple of minutes that it is probably a kid in an old lady mask.
Yeah, I think the autofocus on the camera betrayed their imitation of a grandma.
And the voice is once again our audio engineer.
Yeah. It looked like it was like maybe another 12-year-old wearing the old lady mask and a wig and then wrapped very tightly in a blanket. And yeah, I think whoever did the ADR on the guy in the garage earlier did the voiceover for the grandma too.
Right. So it's like it was,
which I'm pretty sure is
David.
David. Yeah.
It also kind of makes sense. So it seemed like, now I wasn't watching this in headphones. Actually, no, I couldn't tell, because what I wondered was, how did they do the ADR? Did they have him reading it behind the camera, or was it dubbed in later? Because if it was dubbed in later, that means they choreographed it where the, one actor was delivering her lines and she was waiting for the appropriate amount of time for the other line to be read.
Right.
How do you think they did that?
Well, I was, the only reason I didn't think that he was actually doing it on the spot is because I do not understand how, if you were his kid, you would not be laughing out loud every time.
That's a
the
good
old
point.
lady voice.
That's a very good point.
It's also the volume of the voices were the recording quality was so clean and it was so quiet compared to everything else that it makes me think that they did it after the fact.
Okay.
And
that's
the grandma's lines are done with like the exact same like cadence and enthusiasm as the guy in the garage's lines.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the same guy doing the voice. I just was wondering if...
And very, very similar to, you get that same level of energy from David when he's doing his like gruff dad voice.
Right.
The praying and... Yeah.
Right. No, I'm absolutely convinced. Yeah, it was dubbed in later. And now that I think about it, the scenes were pretty well choreographed for that with the grandma, but like the robber in the beginning, there were just like crosstalk. There was like just tons of time when they were both like talking at the same time. Like the one, like David playing himself was literally going, "Kill me, shoot me in the head," and the other guy was going, "Man, I'm gonna kill you, man. I keep it real." And they were just like talking like completely at the same time at each other. But yeah, the funniest line, the funniest moment in the whole movie, which like, I mean, I'm absolutely going to pipe in, but what did the girl say? And then the grandma just went, "Oh no."
She said, "A man attacked me the other day." She's like, "I have some bad news. A man attacked me, but then the
Michael
nice man came and
but
saved
then
me."
the girl just goes, "Oh no."
I met a nice man and he gave me some candy and a jacket and some money. That was the good part.
Oh wow. Does this man live close by?
Yeah, pretty close. Bad news is, some man tried to grab me, but the nice man came and rescued me, and I ran off when a really big fight started.
Oh no.
Oh my god, we like couldn't watch the next like 3 minutes of the film because we were all laughing so hard. That was so sick. That was one of the funniest line reads ever in one of these films.
Kid Rachel was definitely the best actor in this movie.
Oh my god, she was great.
Yeah.
Was that the writer? Rachel was Cadence. Yeah. The girl who played young Rachel, she was also the writer of the film.
Whoa,
Dude, she's going places. Like, if
she'll definitely be in the next Wright family film.
Oh, well, that's for sure. I mean, she's going to be running their film factory until, she decides to do her own thing. But
Pureflix should be paying her good money already.
They should sign her at the very least. Like, they should like scout her and like prepare her for a Christian film
career.
career.
Like the director of video operations at the Daily Wire.
Yeah, with inshallah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of amazing encounters with Rachel and her grandma, which comprise a lot of dialogue in the movie. But really so much of this film is just like amazing exchanges, and like it would really behoove you, gentle listener, to like watch this film for yourself and experience it. You can do this on Prime, right?
Yeah.
You can stream it on Prime. Very good. But plot wise, what ends up happening like in this? I guess I should say that a big thing of Rachel and her grandma's discussions are the fact that they are very poor. As it was revealed, she's too poor for a Halloween costume. She can't even like cut a fucking like old sheet to be a ghost or whatever. She's too poor. You can't like make your own Halloween costumes and stuff from around the house.
Too poor to DIY.
Yeah, too poor to DIY. The grandma's like, I'm trying to get us in Section 8 housing, but it's an 8-month waiting list and blah, blah, blah. They're very poor. They're going to go to a homeless shelter, and she doesn't want to go to a homeless shelter, and the grandma's doing the best she can. Also, the grandma's like, and as you know, I only have 6 months to live. And Rachel's like, oh no. It was unclear if Rachel actually like was ever told that already. It was like, it's a lot.
And she was dropping that in after like rambling on for a couple minutes at that point already.
Just like, and the doctor says I only have 6 months to a year to live. And Rachel's like, oh no. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Bleak.
Very bleak.
Yeah.
But good news is that Michael puts them up. He takes them in.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He has a guest house.
Gives them a reason for the season.
The Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween season.
Yeah. Finally, somebody who remembers the true meaning of Halloween.
And he does point out early on that he does not celebrate Halloween. Although I wasn't clear if that was something he already didn't do, or if specifically it was because his wife had been murdered on Halloween.
Oh, I forgot his wife was literally murdered on Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be the year before?
I think it was longer back.
Yeah.
It wasn't really clear though. But when she got shot, that was a pretty crazy effect too.
Yeah,
That
I
was
want to talk
amazing.
about that. It was like the only instance of green screen in this movie. And it was just her. He was like, oh, don't forget your ammunition or whatever. And he like put a 9mm clip in her belt and kissed her goodbye. And then she was just like pointing a gun to the right of the screen and forgot to check her left. And a guy with a hunting rifle just came up right behind her and shot her in the back, and she disappeared. It was very sad.
Dude, she was like,
never seen again.
Dude, she was like acting on NPC rules. She was like, in like fucking, like older games, like
what
old,
was
like
that?
old Zelda games when you can just creep by the guards by just not like just walking behind them. What was that? I'm sorry, she was not good at being a cop. She forgot to check 6 o'clock. You really need to learn this.
Well, she was in the canine unit, and I didn't see her dog anywhere.
Never had a dog.
That was funny too.
Yeah,
she was constantly wearing huge shirts that in like 6 places on the shirt said like canine unit.
They look like those flyers for like dance hall shows around LA, only without the like rainbow gradient. It was just black and said K9 unit all over it.
Right. Never once saw this woman with a dog. Never once. And instead, she just, fucking stood in an empty like alley or whatever. And a man just came up behind her with a gun. And for no reason. Why are these people just walking around with guns, just like trying to kill people? Like, who are they?
I don't know.
What do they want?
Maybe they're the scary clowns from a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's that problem.
We were having problems. We had to invent our own problems because we didn't have real ones yet. But many of the flashbacks with his wife, that comprises like a huge amount of the vibe of this movie. The wife is always wearing all black for some reason. She's smelling, there's just one rose that grows in their garden, which is also very weird. Kind of like anime-like and beautiful, but it just you know, she's the goth GF, but she's also a Christian trad wife. She's finally done, and a cop. She's united everything that's good about. She's everything. She really is it all. I'm now realizing this. I mean, as she says in her description, she's an actor, artist, musician, director, editor, producer, like, you know, whatever. She fucking does it all. Goth, cop, trad wife. Amazing.
First
responder. And she has imposter syndrome. And she's shy.
She's an introvert, but also
and a girl
an
boss.
extrovert.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I cannot with the introverted extroverts. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I love, you know,
she also knows what it's like to have depression.
Yes, she does. She knows.
Yeah. So what's your problem with introverted extroverts?
It's just psych. I just cannot believe if
they
you
have
go
feelings
on
too.
No, first of all, no, they do not. Second of all, if you go on Tinder, I'm constantly shocked. Literally 50% of people say in their bios, I'm kind of an introvert and an extrovert. Bitch, you're normal.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's called being normal. Yeah. Michael takes young Rachel and her grandma into a beautiful guest house where Rachel has her own dollhouse. And she says she feels like a princess.
Which is weird for what age she is, but whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
There were those 3 little toys that were his wife's that were for like a toddler.
Oh, that scene was amazing. I forgot about that scene. He was like, these belong to my wife. It was the only thing she had. And it was like a little plastic pig.
Yeah.
It's like, I get what he was trying to do. Okay. And again, an 11-year-old wrote this movie. So like, I think that that's fantastic, but like, I love like this was the only thing left for my wife. It was like, there was a plastic pig and a plastic like hippo or something. It was just like 3 like fucking like dollar store, like plastic toys. I love that. It was fantastic.
I liked how at the end of that, he was just like, come on, grandma, time to show you your room. Yeah. You just hear her go, oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Fuck. What else in this film? Oh yeah, the ending. Yeah. What was up with that sudden ending? Do you remember?
Yeah, we like got really intense, like almost like
some crazy filmmaking.
It seemed like the thing you would put at the end of the credits to like show that there's gonna be another Halloween hero movie.
Happened during the credits with no visual accompaniment.
Yeah. Rachel goes, like Michael, come quick. A man just pulled up outside and he tried to sell me drugs. And he's like, I don't even remember. He's just like, you think I'm going to show mercy on you, then you never live to see the day, or something like shit like that.
He grabs his gun and goes outside, and then it's like the voiceover while it's showing like the like title cards with the characters and their actors. And he says like, I'm gonna give you mercy twice, but if you come back another time, you won't be so lucky.
Now, because God has had mercy on me, I'm gonna have mercy on you. Because God has forgiven me, I'm gonna forgive you. But if I ever see you around this house again, because I'm weak, it's gonna be hard for me to forgive you a second time.
So weird. Like he was talking to the audience.
Yeah.
But he was talking to this drug dealer off screen. It really did seem like it was going to set up for a sequel.
Yeah.
Like a Purge-like sequel.
We all thought that was what it was going to be, but it was not. It was just the end of the movie.
Very strange.
So strange. Truly like some experimental filmmaking right
Yes.
There. Yeah.
This was a very like experimental, like avant-garde film. Like I've never seen a narrative quite like this. Some of the shots were insane. The ending shot that was just someone holding up a leaf and like looking at the sun through a leaf. And that was like, that was sort of like how, I mean, right before the new drug dealer scene, that was sort of like the ending cap of the movie. the shot of their like dinner, I remember like particularly, it was just the camera being like just slowly panning across the table. And you could see bread roll, apple, and then coming up on like Rachel. It was just like, it was very artistic. That's all I can say. I really liked it.
Very strange that this is the kind of movie that this woman deems appropriate for her children to watch.
Yes.
Which featured their own mother getting shot in the back and dying. And then the dad shooting multiple people, or like prominently featuring a scene in which the dad is pointing a gun at his own head and then forcing someone else to point a gun at his head. And this is the kind of movie she made when she was like, you know what? I can't find any movies that are appropriate to show my children.
Yeah, when he's holding a picture, when it's their dad holding a picture of their mom and a gun to his own head simultaneously.
Well, it has to be appropriate for children. A child wrote it.
That's true.
So that's the thing.
The child wrote all these scenes of the dad wanting to die.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that like kids do know about that stuff. Like, I always like have trouble like navigating this, because on one hand, like when you're like a kid and you're like playing with other kids when you're like fucking 8 years old, they're like, oh, and then I kill you, and then I do something else, then you kill me. You know what I mean? Like kids know about like killing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
plus at that age, she's entering her like anime Invader Zim phase where, you think of some twisted stuff.
Exactly. Is there a
Christian? It gets you sent home
Zim?
from homeschool.
You get sent to school.
Yeah.
Is there a Christian Invader Zim? There should be.
That's a good question.
There should be.
Coming
Fairly
soon
Odd
from
Parents
Cadence
guy is
Wright.
Christian.
Really?
Yeah, big time.
I wish Emily Strange would convert to Christianity. Only my Real Hot Topic heads are going to get that one.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there Christian salad fingers?
Fucking communion fingers or some stupid shit. That was like one of the worst jokes I've ever made. I had fun though.
I liked in the movie when Michael says, I always wear these cutoff shirts. Like I never
get
cold.
Cool.
My wife used to cut these sleeves off for me. And then the very next scene he has sleeves.
Okay. That rocked for so many reasons. One, because finally a movie that like actually investigates like masculinity and like what it means to be a man, which is like, one, you never get cold.
We were talking about this during the movie though. There is like a kind of dude who gets warm really easily.
Yes.
And doesn't get cold very easily. I definitely had a couple friends like that growing up.
Yeah.
And there's not representation of that in movies.
I completely agree. Movies like completely ignore the fact that that's like a very real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have that one homie who never wore a coat.
It's finally some realistic portrayal of a male protagonist in a film.
Genuinely.
Hollywood would want you to think that men get cold.
Yes.
They do not.
No.
And that men kill themselves by putting the gun in their mouth.
No.
Men
put
kill
it in
themselves
your
by-
shoulder.
Yeah, you shoot at like the end, the cartilage hanging from the end of your ear.
Yeah.
But what was our final thoughts? What's our big like moral takeaways or final thoughts about this film before we actually give it the official rating? Be kind to others, I guess. Like,
I don't know what the lesson of this
No,
movie
there was.
It was just kind of like a fun story.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I liked that about this film. You have to pray. They talked about you have to pray.
Pray. I guess, God doesn't close a door without opening a window.
Yeah.
He'll kill your wife, but I'll give you two dependents to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like another movie that I watched recently, Titan. You can find like familial absolute love in places outside of your own family too.
Yes. Well put.
No spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
That was also the lesson of Malignant.
No spoilers.
Hey, no spoilers.
Sorry.
Well, it was a Halloween delight. I mean, beyond the fact that this movie was set on Halloween and there was some scenes of trick-or-treating, it was not a movie that dealt with spirits, the occult, really the macabre in any way.
Thank God.
Thank God for that, I say. It was the perfect Halloween movie.
Yeah, perfect for the Halloween hater like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it united both the Halloween lover and the Halloween hater.
There was a freaking when those kids were trick or treating and they were like, "Oh, look, it's a bat! It's a bat!" I felt like I was fucking hanging out with my friends.
So fun. Hopefully she comes with us. Hi. Ah, it's a bat! It's a bat! It's a bat! It's gonna get you. Did I get you?
Yeah. Thing is made of rubber, isn't it?
Yeah.
That part was so great. I totally forgot. Yeah, the Halloween heroes and the Halloween villains alike can find something to appreciate in Halloween Hero 2020, directed, of course, by Ashley Hays Wright. I think it's about time that we give this the official Boys Bible Study rating. What do you say, guys? What's the official take on this one?
I love this movie. Great non-Halloween Halloween movie. Love to see a family working on something together. I think Cadence Wright is going places. Cannot believe an 11-year-old wrote this. She was also the best actor in the movie. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Wrights.
Yeah, this was a fun little movie for fun little spiritual sequel to Trash Humpers. You get to see how the rest of the public deals with Trash Humpers. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 oblique strategies by Jesus Christ, which are seems to be a set of cards that he keeps in like a police badge shaped paper holder.
Oh, yeah. What was that about?
That was very strange. That was when he was like, at one point he's about to, blow his toe off and end it all. And he grabs a little like business card out of the bejeweled,
police badge,
the sequined police badge business card holder, and it was just like a verse.
Yeah, it was all Bible verses.
Was it a Bible verse or was it just like some sort of inspirational Christian thing?
Pretty sure it was Bible verses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The oblique strategies Christian version.
Well, I as well loved this movie. I think that I really think that kids should be encouraged to write and direct more films because the storytelling logic of children, I mean this in all seriousness, makes for very interesting narratives that adults are simply not able to tap into because our minds have been, so shaped by the expectations of culture that it's can sometimes be tough to have a truly original voice. So seriously, shout outs to Cadence Wright. I really hope she keeps working and has a very creative life. Halloween Hero, I'm going to have to give this one 1 out of 1 liters of Manischewitz wine. Manischewitz, a proud sponsor of both Boys Bible Study and Halloween Hero, of course. The wine, once you have one, you just can't stop. The slogan of Manischewitz wine. I really cannot believe that was the first fucking shot of this movie was after he after he disarms a robber and then gives him the gun back so he can kill himself. He immediately is chugging Manischewitz and then looking in the mirror what have I done? Amazing. Thank you so much to our gentle listeners for all of your support, for listening to this episode. If this is your first time with us and you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you would please go to boysbiblestudy.com. And, that's where you can find links to all of the places where our episodes are available, any of your favorite podcast apps. So go there and subscribe. Also, if you really like what we do, you want to get more content and you want to support us in the process, check out patreon.com/Boys Bible Study. We put out free episodes every other week. On those in-between weeks, we put out bonus episodes. So every Sunday you'll get a new episode if you commit to being our paid subscriber. We would love to have you. Also, shout out to our generous patrons at the $20 tier. If you're up on that tier in our Patreon, you get a shout out at the end of every episode. Thank you so much, Nicole, Marissa, Jeff, and Jane. We really appreciate your generosity and your support. Our outro music is Oh My God by Mary. From all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, we would like to say a very spooky peace be with you.
And also with you.
Oh, no.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day you take me